WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. Michigan sports aren't just a game, they're a way of life. And now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
Remember that.
Hello, and welcome into the Ben Bosscher Show, everybody. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Hope everyone had a great Memorial Day yesterday. Woo-hoo. Spend some time on the water, hit the links, whatever it is you were doing.
Wow!
I hope you had fun now working. Tigers weren't working yesterday. They had the day off. Thank God. Can't lose when you have a day off. Look, as of right now, the Tigers are 21 and 33. And we're going to get to a Tuesday Tower here at 9:30. I want to compare Jalen Duren to an NBA great who's, I think, is having a similar career trajectory where he could develop into this player, someone who did struggle early on in their playoff career as well. But let's start things out here with the Detroit Tigers, who, like I just said, are 21 and 33, 10 games out from first place right now. Guardians, they're actually doing the Tigers some favors the last couple days with some losses. Look, I am not going to sit here and tell you that the season's over. If you want that, if you want pure negativity, if you want someone telling you that Skubal should be dealt, maybe Kyle can bring that perspective. If not, you might have to go elsewhere. I'm not just ready to throw in the towel on this season for a handful of different reasons. And you might think it's partially insane as well. But right now, they're only plus 850 to win the division. It's not like they're just plus 2,000 seasons over. A 19% chance to win. Everything okay? I think so. They have a 19% chance to make the playoffs according to Fangraphs. 19%, that's not bad. They have the 18th hardest strength of schedule remaining. So schedules favor them the rest of the way. They got a lot of the tough NL teams out of the way early. 2024, they were 26 and 27 on Memorial Day. And it's obviously better than the situation they find themselves in now. However, it was bad nonetheless. And obviously they came back. That final month of the season was extraordinary. I'll give you a couple other examples as well. The in 2019 started 19 and 31. They finished the Dodgers in 2013, before they became this juggernaut of a team, 30 and 42, ended up winning 90 games. Philly in 2022 started 22 and 29 through 51 games, ended up as an 87-win team. Astros in 2005, one of the best examples, started 15 and 30 before finishing 89 and 73. Rockies did it in 2009 as well, 20 and 30 through their first 50, finished with 92 wins. Now, the state that the Tigers are in right now, obviously a depleted version. They desperately need Gleyber Torres back, who had a little bit of a setback with the oblique injury. They need Carpenter back. Not that Kerry Carpenter's this all Perez. Better than Wenzel Perez. They need Javi Baez back. Again, not some all-star, although he was an all-star last year. Not some earth-shattering player. Better than Zach Short. Better than Zach Perez matter too out in center field. They need to get their guys back. Skubal as well. Melton, he looks really good in his debut with the Tigers this season. Looks great over the weekend. That's one of the 5 guys. Now they need to continue to get more of them back. And if they do that, I'm not quite ready to just say the season's over, give up, trade Skubal. because I've been seeing a lot of trade Skubal conversations, rightfully so. The team is 10 games. The deadline's a far and long ways away. I'm not going to sit here and tell you how I say have to trade Tarek Skubal. It's not quite. They can end up managing a good team the rest of the way. I'm not telling you great, but if they can be a good team the rest of the way, there is an opportunity that they sneak into the playoffs and are a danger to everybody else. They still have the ability to be a threat to the rest of the American League. They get in with that healthy rotation. I don't care what happens in the regular season. It is very difficult to beat a rotation of Tarek Skubal, Casey Mize if he's playing this way, Troy Melton if he continues to play this way. And who knows, maybe Jackson Job's around by the end of the season. So no, I'm not giving up on this season yet. In fact, I think it is more likely that the Tigers make than Skubal get dealt. They are too invested into this specific team. It is the first time in 10 years they are inside the top 10 in payroll and have a competitive team in which we thought at the beginning of the year could go to a World Series. All those players are still on this team, even though some of them are hurt. Those things can still come to fruition. Riley Green is still having the best season of his career. Now he just needs the supporting pieces around him back. Colt Keith, you need to hit a home run. There's a whole lot of things that you can still say, you know what? There's some positives to this Tigers team. And I know the record is what it is. They're going to have to claw their way out of this thing. I do not think it's too deep of a hole to dig out of at this moment in time. I still believe that there is a chance. It's between a short chance and a long chance. It's a medium chance that this is a playoff team. Plus 850 on FanDuel. On FanGraphs, 19% chance to be in the postseason. It's not hopeless to say the Tiger season is not over. I still have a little bit of faith that they're going to be able to turn things around and get hot. Do I think it's more likely that they probably just go 5? Yeah, probably. But I'd rather go all in and say we tried than already start throwing out Tarek Skubal trades. If it gets to a point at the deadline and they're still 10 games under, okay, then we can have those conversations. But until then, I still am going to remain somewhat optimistic about this Tigers team, Kyle. So if I tell you that I think it's more likely they make the playoffs than it is that they trade Tarek Skubal, your reaction would be what?
How can you believe that? Like, what is the reasoning that you think that they can still make the playoffs, other than just like, I still have faith? Because that's kind of all I'm hearing. I'm just hearing
crappy division. I just gave you 5 different teams that have came back from this enormous deficit through 50 games. We know for a fact, like the Tigers over-under on wins in the regular season was 85-86. That team still exists. They just need to get healthy and get hot in a way that they did at the end of 2024, that they did at the beginning of 2025. Do I think this team can actually win a World Series? No, probably not, but they're certainly better than the way that they have been playing.
Sure. I mean, I think everybody knows that they're better than the way that they're playing, but this current version of the Tigers is what they have. Like, this is the Tigers. The what-if game I'm done playing. What if they get healthy? We can't do that anymore. They're 12 games under 500, and we continue to get to the what if they get healthy, though. Okay, what if they're 20 games under when they're healthy? You know, like, it just gets to a point where that game has to stop being played, like, the further and further you get into the season. And, yeah, I'm not, like, going to sit here and say there's no way this team makes the playoffs, but just from, like, a vibes standpoint, if we want to be like, I'm not ready to give up on them. I just have a feeling. I just don't know yet. Like, I'm watching this team play. I'm watching them blow games left and right. This team is like a terror to watch right now. They're so draining. There's no like redeeming qualities from watching this baseball team right now.
And I'm sure Nationals fans after 50 games when they were 19-31 felt the same way. I'm sure the Rockies fans that started 20-30 in 2009 felt the same way before they won 90 games. I'm sure the Phillies fans started 22-29 through 51 and ended up as an 87 win team. I'm sure all of these teams felt that way at some point throughout the first 50 games where it was like, this team is hopeless. This season is a mess. It's a tragedy. And then eventually something just flips. It's happened. It happened to the Tigers 2 years ago. They were dead in the water. They were more dead in the water 2 years ago in August than they are right now.
Sure, but that team wasn't and it didn't have expectation coming into the season like they do with this one.
That's true.
And, yes, you can bring those teams up. Fair point. There's also, just 5 or 6 teams like this current Tigers team every single season that just perform this way and end up staying bad the whole entire year. So that sample size is much higher than they were 10 games under and won the World Series sample size, which is obviously extremely rare.
I think it's just the injuries for me. And we already saw one player come back, Troy Melton, who had an incredible debut for the Tigers. Okay, now they just need a couple of the bats to come back, and that can't happen soon enough because the guys that they are continuing to roll out there are complete and utter garbage. I can't watch Zach Short and Wenzel Perez anymore. I can't watch Flaherty blow games over and over again, so that requires Skubal to come back. That requires maybe Verlander to come back as well. Kenley Jansen, boy oh boy. One more blown save from Kenley Jansen, and I'm considering never throwing him out there again. That's how poor this has been for Kenley Jansen. But if they can just get a few guys back, I still am going to hold on to a little bit of hope based on the strength of schedule that they have left. They got rid of most of their national games early on. National League games, that is. Fangraphs gives them a 19% chance to make the playoffs. I'm willing to say, you know what? I'll be a part of that group. I'll be a part of the 19 out of 100 times that this team can turn things around and make the playoffs. They're not dead yet. They are not dead yet. And I just want to continue to point that out until they are actually dead and the fat lady sings. I still have somewhat of faith that this team can pull things out and be more so of the team that we thought they were going into the year than what they've been the last 3 weeks. But that requires a wake-up call at some point. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. We're live here on 100.9 The Mid. Are you Team Ben or are you Team Kyle? Do you feel like this team still has a little bit of life? Or is it over, trade Skubal, run it back next year? Where are you at? Team Ben, Team Kyle. It's the Ben Bosscher Show. Live here on 100.9 The Mitt. As always, the show is brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Protect your home with Bresky Siding and Building Repair, the experts who do the job right the first time. Whether you have a leaky roof or storm and your home is looking a little tired, Bresky has you covered. Locally owned, trusted, and dedicated to keeping Midland area homes safe and looking sharp. The next storm, call Bresky Siding and Building Repair today.
Kresge Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, let's get to the mid messages. Let's see what people have to say. Are they Team Ben? Are they Team Kyle about this? Can the Tigers still turn things around? Or are they dead in the water and it's time to trade Tarek Skubal? I think it's more likely that they make the playoffs than trade Tarek Skubal. I still think that there's about a 20% chance that this team can get turned around. They get hot, turn themselves into an 85-win team, and make the playoffs. I think they're so deep into this with a top 10 payroll, with an all-in sort of offseason, to where they're going to at least try, unless they are legitimately 10 games out at the deadline, which I do not think they will be. They have to start winning at some point when players come back from injury, it sounds like Glaber, I know he had the setback, but he's so close. Oh, he's so close. Kerry Carpenter, Javi Baez, same thing. They both could return at any point. Then I think you're dealing with something that's a lot different than the version of the team that you've seen the last couple of days, especially when Skubal comes back as well, which could be this week, could be next week, could be 3 weeks, who knows. Let's see what people have to say on the message line, 989-837-6125. Andrew says, I think they could make a playoff run still. But still, trading Skubal and using those pieces to get the rotation, I'm not saying past the first round, but if they... Wait, this is like two answers. I think they could make a playoff run, still trade Skubal. Oh, trade Skubal and they can still make the playoffs is what Andrew is saying. Nah, I mean, that would be like best case scenario you could ever imagine. I don't think that's possible, though.
Yeah, I mean, we know how bad they are without Tarek Skubal, right? It feels like if you're trading him, you're kind of committing to fully going tank mode here and not making the playoffs.
Doesn't it feel like Skubal, since he's been on IL, it almost feels like he brings more value to the team and the clubhouse in general than just his one of every 5 days on the mound? I mean, the losing streak started the second he left. The second he left the team.
Like, it's not even something that it feels like. It just has to be the answer. I mean, just the way that the record-wise thing, because even the stat of like, oh, they're 20 games over when he plays, they're a 500 team when he doesn't. It's like he plays every day. Mm-hmm. We're just talking when he's with the team. Like, there's something about having Tarek Skubal, just knowing that he's coming up in the rotation. You've got him at the end of a series. You've got him at the beginning of a series. Just having that clearly shifts the way that this ball club plays over the last couple of years.
He's also the most competitive guy on the team. And I don't even think that's really up for debate. Maybe McGonigal can squeak into that, but he's not going to...
Will Vest makes a case sometimes.
Sure. Those guys also aren't in a position to, like, yell at guys and wake them up. Where Skubal, I feel like Skubal can get away with really anything in that clubhouse. It's just like, yeah, man, I'm a 2-time Cy Young winner. I can tell anybody whatever I want. And if it's to wake up and lock in, so be it. And clearly that's pretty impactful when he's in the clubhouse, in the locker room, in the dugout, versus when he's not. Kim saying the same thing. Trade Skubal and still make the playoffs. I don't know if that's an option that I'm willing to hand out. Obviously, that'd be nice, but I don't know.
Yeah, the only time they had that option was this offseason, right?
Yeah.
If you were going to move off of Skubal, you still could have convinced yourself that if you got a major league ready player, then it could help you out, make the playoffs still. But doing that now when you're already 12 games under doesn't make a lot of sense.
Tom says you got to trade Skubal, Mize, and Gleyber Torres. Full teardown mode at the trade deadline.
I mean, if they are in the current position that they are in, which is, last place in the division at the trade deadline, 100% you have to. It would be
three of those guys.
It would be like a use of or a wasted use of assets if you don't. What are you just gonna do? Have them on the team for no reason?
I know. It's such a tough pill to swallow in July, basically.
Well, yeah.
Throw in the entire, every single free agent you have. See you later.
And that's how this goes, though. That's how this works. Luckily, that's in 2 months, and so they have 2 months to kind of figure out their future towards that. But that's basically the conversation we're having right now. Like, do you think they will still be in this spot in 2 months?
And my answer is ultimately no. Like, this in 2 months, Skubal and Kerry Carpenter and Gleyber Torres and Javi Baez and who knows, maybe Justin Verlander not really clear what you're getting from him at all. But those guys should be healthy in 2 months by the time the trade deadline's around. It's just a matter of how quick can they come back, and then how many wins can they string together with those guys healthy before that point? Because if they are anything close, if they're less than 8 games out, what are we talking? We're not doing that. We're going all in and trying to, fight to make the playoffs in the last month of the season, right? Like, What would the number have to be for you at the deadline to be like, yeah, we got to sell? How many games out from first place would they have to be? Because I think the answer is like double digits. Unless if they are 9 games out a day before the deadline, I still think that they can come back and get this thing done.
I think it would have to be something a little bit tighter than that. I mean, right now, like just think about this team right now, because we keep saying that if they're healthy, right? And they at the beginning of the year they're healthy, now they're not. How many games above 500 were the Tigers this season?
1.
At their best?
1.
2. They were 14-12 on April the 23rd. Since then, it's been all downhill. Like, even when they were relatively healthy, when they didn't have all this stuff going on, they still were just a fine team. Like, things weren't going great for them from the rip, but it was just like, okay, they'll figure it out. They'll continue to improve, blah, blah, blah. And it just never really happened. So that's the only thing is, like, there isn't even a proof of this season when healthy this group has been a great team. So my only,
sure,
like,
but what would you say it was? 14-12?
14-12.
That's a pretty small sample size. You barely have enough room to separate yourself, even if you are a great team.
Sure. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you then.
Joe says, with Scott Harris running the show, neither will happen. The Tigers will be worse off in the long run. It was a no-brainer to trade him before the season. They would have gotten much more than just a second-round pick. Can't trade draft picks. Than what they're going to get when he leaves in free agency, which is nothing. Yeah, here's the thing. They probably could have sold Tarek Skubal for maximum value at last year's trade deadline. Not even this offseason, but
100%.
last year's trade deadline. I still applaud Scott Harris, as hard as that is to say, for going all in this year and trying. Trying is better than giving up. And at least they went into this year and attempted to make a World Series run before Skubal, Baez, Meadows, Torres, Verlander, Mize, everyone got hurt. They had 15 guys on IL at some point. I'd rather them try and not trade Tarek Skubal than send him away and not even, be all in to try to win a World Series this year.
Yeah, I agreed with you in the preseason, but that didn't work. And now fate has to be accepted and reality has to be accepted. Like, at some point, you can't just double down on trying when clearly it didn't work going all in. And I liked it too. I thought it was the move, but this team is in last place in the worst division in baseball. It doesn't get more clear than that.
What is the number for you then at the deadline that they'd have to be out for you to not want to sell?
I mean, it would have to be, they'd have to be near 500 baseball team in general, which is going to be closer to being at the top of the division. Probably less than 5 games.
If they're 6 games out, you'd want to sell.
I mean, teams that are 6 games out of their division don't buy.
I'm not necessarily saying you got to buy.
Yeah, but when you have the upcoming free agents that Detroit does, like, it would be a disaster to not sell at that point.
If you snuck into the playoffs by not buying or selling, and you once again won one singular playoff series, and then you lost in the ALDS, are you going to regret not selling at the deadline?
I think so. But, like, if you get into the playoffs, then sure, then I can't be that mad about it. Like, if you end up getting into the playoffs, then yeah, I guess you were right. It worked out in your favor. But they're just so far out from even thinking about that right now that it makes me difficult to think that way.
989-837-6125. Where are you at? Team Kyle, Team Ben. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. We'll hit our Tuesday Tower here coming up soon. Let's do it when we come back because we want to do the Detroit Sports Hot Seats with our Tower this week. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. Dow, proudly rooted in Midland and making an impact all around the world. Innovations that create solutions for cleaner water, safer homes, and more sustainable future. Company built on science but driven by people with thousands of employees who call this community home. Supporting local schools, events, and nonprofits because being a good neighbor matters. From the lab to the Little League field, Dow is invested in the places we live, work, and play. Dow solving with science and standing with community.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.